Hello, my name is Chris Davis, and I will be commenting on the historical context of the man who was Thursday, what might have been going through G.K. Chesterton's mind as he was writing this, based on the events going on around the world and around England, around Russia, places like that at the time. So, the first thing that I want to comment on is the historical importance of Bloody Sunday. Bloody Sunday of 1905, to be specific. This event was a massacre where over 100 peasants living in Russia were putting on this protest. They went to St. Petersburg and they put on a protest in front of Tsar Nicholas II, the ruler of Russia at the time, and they were basically protesting unfair working laws. Their oppression is really what they're protesting, and 100 of them, or over 100 of them, died, and over a few hundred of them were injured. In this peaceful revolt, they were unarmed, nothing, they weren't posing any threat, but they were massacred. That event is called Bloody Sunday of 1905. And when we look at The Man Who's Thursday, the book written by G.K. Chesterton, we see that one of the biggest figures in the book is called Sunday himself, and he is a figurehead for anarchism. He is the leader of the anarchist underground group, and he is absolutely terrifying to everyone who comes into contact with him. And this shows us a little bit about what G.K. Chesterton was thinking about as he wrote the book. Just that that Sunday was a terrible character to see, in that this Bloody Sunday event was a terrible event. And perhaps this is something that was bigger than just a random connection, but that G.K. Chesterton thought of anarchism and rebellion itself as something horrible and terrifying, and as causing of immense blood, of death, as Bloody Sunday in Russia caused. And then another thing that affected historically what Chesterton was writing about was just a normal, well, not very normal, but a kind of general growing interest in anarchism, and a certain betrayal of a proper reading of The Man Who Is Thursday by Alexander Tyrov. So as for a general growing interest in anarchism all around the world, really, especially in Europe, they were beginning to arise feelings of discontentment among major leadership schemes. The people around Europe were starting to have a desire to rebel, and one of the ways they would rebel would be in forming anarchist groups, just for rising interest in anarchy. And one of the biggest places where this happened was Russia, and we see this in a stage adaptation of the book The Man Who Is Thursday. So this man, as I mentioned, Alexander Tyrov, he created a stage adaptation of Chesterton's book and created it into a pro-anarchy flick or theater performance rather than an anti-anarchism theater performance, as Chesterton meant it to be. And one of the things that the way Chesterton commented on this was by saying the Bolsheviks have done a good many silly things, but the most strangely silly thing that ever I heard of was that they tried to turn this anti-anarchist romance into an anarchist play. Heaven only knows what they really made of it, beyond apparently making it mean the opposite of everything it meant. So Chesterton clearly did not like the way they interpreted this. So as you can see, there are many different pieces of history that affect how Chesterton would have wrote this and how we read this today, and these different pieces of historical context must be considered by the reader of The Man Who Is Thursday, by the reader of Chesterton, in order to fully understand what the author, what G.K. Chesterton was really trying to get at.